George Kittle has signed a 4-year, $76 million contract extension with the Niners. Huge congrats to him, making him the highest paid tight end in NFL history. SA, he's a friend of the show. What do you make of extending Kittle?
He's one of the best tight ends in football. He's a 6-time Pro Bowler. He's somebody that has produced for the San Francisco 49ers, and their regression, if that's what you want to call it, certainly is no fault of his, Mike T. I'm of the mindset that he deserved this. I don't think the 49ers have much choice, particularly Brandon Ayuk getting hurt last year and what have you, and Debo being gone. I think this is a sign that you had to make, and I'm happy he got his money.
Yeah, Stephen A., you have to pay talent and character, and George Kittle has both. They let a lot of good players go. Taloa Hufanga, Tre'Davious Ward, Leonard Floyd, Javon Hargrave, and look, they also have to pay Brock Purdy, but what they're saying is this guy is a program guy. We win with him on the field, we win with him off the field, and unfortunately, all those other guys have to graduate.
Well, they also like you pointed out, the importance of character. This is the highest paid tight end in history for the moment, anyway. And it's not just about your performance; it's about character. He has it. He deserves it.
Of course. Mike T, welcome to the program. Great to have you with us. Shedeur Sanders finally heard his name called late Saturday in the 5th round when he was selected by the Cleveland Browns, who have a pretty crowded QB room. With Deshaun Watson expected to miss significant time this upcoming season, the Browns quarterback competition will consist of Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders. Sanders is currently tied for the 5th shortest odds in the NFL to win Offensive Rookie of the Year at 15-1, with Gabriel set at 60-1. All right, it's not just Mike T with us. Dominique Foxworth also as well. Neek, I just have to tell you, I was watching you on Get Up. I really love the artwork. Stephen A. was focused on Monica's in the Marriott.
I just
but
looked
your
up.
artwork, especially,
I just looked up. What's up, guys? What's going on,
the little
dog?
ESPN drawing of you, fantastic.
What's happening?
What's up?
Okay, I worked really hard on all of these. I appreciate that you guys see value in my artwork. I've been working on my art skills.
There we go.
Absolutely.
I got you.
Okay. Tell me this.
I was just
Mike
joking.
T.
It's my kids.
We know.
No. I think we might have just had an earthquake here, so that's why we seemed a little distracted, to be honest with you.
Dom, it actually shook here like a damn earthquake or something.
So if Stephen A. and I were a little awkward for a moment, we were just trying to survive in this hostile environment.
I was part of that awkwardness, too. I was like...
Yeah, we were all like, okay, I thought we're in New York, not California. All right, Mike T. Will Shedeur be the Browns starter week 1?
Yes, he's the most talented quarterback in that room. Look, I had him at the bottom of the first, top of the second. Ironically, I compared him to Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins had a great career in Minnesota with offensive coordinator Kevin Stefanski, now the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. Whatever happened in the draft, to me, is ancient history. Shedeur Sanders on Saturday night should have been calling the skill players of the Cleveland Browns, saying, hey, here I come, and start developing a relationship. If I'm the Browns, I either keep Joe Flacco or Kenny Pickett as my veteran guy. I took Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round, who's a nice player, not a lot of upside, but I really need to know what I have in Shedeur Sanders, because next year I have 2 first-round picks, and if I can win with Shedeur, I could get a massive haul for those picks, given all those other quarterbacks that are available. So if I'm Shedeur, whatever happened, lessons learned, and just move forward. And when you look at the skill players that they have, Jerry Jeudy, David Njoku, they added Harold Fannin, 2 good running backs, Quinshawn Junkins and Dylan Sampson. You look at some of these other guys that have done well, be it Jayden Daniels last year, C.J. Stroud 2 years ago. I think Shedeur is set up for success in Cleveland.
I think you're wrong, Mike T. I think you're wrong, and I think somebody like you will understand and appreciate where I'm coming from when I say this. I don't think the day 1 starter or the week 1 starter for the NFL season for the Cleveland Browns, as it pertains to Shedeur Sanders specifically, is going to be determined by just his play. I think all the stuff that has been said, all the stuff that has been reported is erroneous as it may be in the eyes of a lot of people, including myself, as cruel as it might be in the eyes of people like myself in terms of what happened to him. I think that you had people looking to give him a reality check. And now I think what you're going to do is see people wanting to test his emotional and mental resolve as it pertains to that. As of yesterday afternoon, he was en route to Cleveland, from what I was told, in a pickup truck, ready to put on his lunch, grab his lunch pail, put on his hard hat, and get to work. That's what I was told in terms of yesterday about how he's looking at things right now, anxious to go out there and show out. But you're hearing people out of Cleveland talk, Dom, about how Dylan Gabriel was their preferred quarterback, Big Ten Player of the Year, that kind of thing. They were saying that they looked at him. I don't know how, because he wasn't Shedeur Sanders, but nevertheless, they were looking at it. You look at Flacco. He's a fan favorite. They loved him in Cleveland. They never wanted him to leave after the job he did for them a couple of years ago when Deshaun Watson went down, and he came in and did his thing, okay? And then you're looking at Kenny Pickett. Now, I know that Kenny Pickett's a former Steeler. Then he went to Philadelphia. He's got a Super Bowl championship as a backup. We get all of that part. But in his last 17 starts, his record is like 13-4. And so when you look at it from that standpoint, I think they look at Shedeur as a long-term solution. I'm not saying he's going to sit out the year or anything like that. I wouldn't be surprised at all if he's the starter at some point this upcoming season, but I don't think he's a guy that's going to be judged by just his play. I think they're going to want to see whether or not that ego that people were talking about is something that they're going to have to concern themselves with. And unfortunately, I think they're going to test him. And that's why I think he's going to be prevented from starting week 1. Not because he won't deserve it. I just think they're going to test him. Go ahead, Dom.
Well, I mean, I think that I don't think it's outlandish what you're saying, but when you're talking about the Cleveland Browns, I think they want a quarterback pretty badly, and they've demonstrated in recent history that they could put a bunch of things aside. They could put off-field behavior aside. They can put NFL precedent, a fully guaranteed contract that pissed off all the rest of the league aside, because this team has been so thirsty for a quarterback. So if Shedeur Sanders shows up and he's the best quarterback, I don't see why that team, of all teams, the one team that did draft him, would say, nah, we good. We want to be worse with one of these other guys. I'm not sure that Shedeur is going to be the best quarterback in the room on day one. He's a rookie. Plenty of rookies, first round and second round and third round rookies do not start in week 1. I think you're right that he will get a chance to get on the field at some point, but he better make the best of that, because one thing I do know is that the Browns are probably going to be near the top of the draft again next year, and a 5th-round pick is not enough investment for them to not draft another quarterback next year. So Shedeur, whatever he has to do to get better at, he needs to do it immediately. And as soon as he gets on the field, there's no slip-ups. They're not invested. They're not going to do like they did for Caleb and put a perfect O-line around him and get him a bunch of receivers and running backs and keep trying. They're going to throw him all there once, sink or swim. And we're done with you at the end of this season. We might draft another one.
Yeah, guys, I see it totally differently. When we drafted Mark Sanchez in New York in 2009, day 1, snap 1, we put him out there, sink or swim, and we went to the AFC Championship game. Shedeur Sanders is a talented quarterback. And if you listen to Bill Parcells' induction speech when he went to the Hall of Fame, and Nick, you know this, the locker room is the ultimate meritocracy. Shedeur Sanders has more ability than any of those other quarterbacks in that room. Kenny Pickett, Stephen A., I understand what you said, but when you're on your 3rd team in 3 years and Pittsburgh and Philadelphia give up on you, he's not a talented quarterback. Joe Flacco is 40 years old. He's a great backup. So if I'm Cleveland, I want either Dylan Gabriel or Shedeur to start. And once you get that job, don't ever look back. Just keep on going. Well, and if you earn the trust and respect of the locker room, the way Mark Sanchez did, even though it was bumpy, he held the job, and we went to back-to-back championship games. And I'm just saying, like, if I'm Shedeur, all that noise is irrelevant. I have to earn the respect of the locker room, and if I do, then I'm the starter, because, again, it's a meritocracy. Those players want to believe that the quarterback gives us a chance to win.
I definitely.